Hey guys, how's everyone doing? We're back with the mind behind. It's going to be a fantastic, fun, engaging chat because we've got none other than the Indian opening batsman, someone who's had an incredible run over the past year or two, especially with Team India. It is such a pleasure to have one of the nicer guys among the cricketing lot as well around the world. He's a fantastic guy to chat with, just a great ambassador for the game and just a really good all-round guy with a severely good brain on him as well. He's now the captain of the Kings 11 Punjab side as well, and this is a man, remember, who's had hundreds in every format for Team India. He has been breathtaking to watch. He's easy on the eye, and that's what makes him so special. L Rahul will be joining us on this one, and much like the man he shares his name with, Rahul Dravid, who is also his mentor, he happens to have that dogged resistance, that style, the panache when he's out in the middle as well, and also carries himself with such calm demeanor. It's going to be great to have him on, but I think we've already got a lot of interest in this chat room, and a lot of fan clubs of L Rahul have already joined us. Hi guys, hi everyone. Hope you guys are going to enjoy the chat as well. I know all of us are going to. Classy L Rahul is absolutely right. So he's going to be joining us in just a bit. Just to give you a little bit of a brief as to what's happened over the last week. We've had some terrific stuff so far. We've had chats with DJs, musicians, top athletes from around the world. I had Kahiso Rabada last time around as well. So that's going to be a big addition to our already existing superb lineup. Is into the call soon enough, and I know everyone's waiting to ask him a fair few questions. We've had lots of questions come in from everyone outside of this chat room as well, so we will try and ask a lot of those. But remember, the mind behind is all about getting access into some of the best athletes in the world, some of the best musicians in the world, and accessing the brain behind them. And L Rahul is a fine mind when it comes to the game of cricket. I'd love to understand the mentality that now goes in with captaincy as well. He also, remember, captained Team India recently, which was a special moment for him. So we will talk about all of this. We're just going to wait for him to get on. KL, how do you join? Well, I've just accepted your joining. So sorry, guys, for the technical issues. There we go. There we go. Love it. Figured it out in the end. Well,
hi, Swell. How are you?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good. Not too bad. Sorry, I haven't done too many of these live, so I don't know how to join. So
don't worry, as long as you keep scoring runs, and I think that side of it is sorted. I think no one will care whether the technical glitches come in or not. How's it going with you? Where are you at the moment? I think that's something that all of India and all of the world would love to know, because that's on everyone's mind. Are you all safe and sorted in terms of the mind and body as well?
Yeah. God's been kind, and me and my family are in Bangalore. Just we've all been safe, and I'm just trying to do whatever I can with in terms of training and in terms of keeping busy and stuff. It's been okay actually. I haven't been too bored, or haven't really got to a place where it's just annoying me. So it's still good. Yeah, I'm hanging in there and trying to do what I can.
How nice is that feeling, Dale? In some sense, I know it's nice is a hard word to say at this point, but how nice is it for you personally to get that break as well? Because you had a really busy couple of years. So in a way, it just gives you time with your family, with your dog as well. Does Simba de-stress you at a time like this?
I wish he did. He's quite the lazy one. But it is quite nice to spend time at home. And I remember when we kept playing for so long, we in the team, all of us kept wanting a break. And now that we've got such a big break, we're kind of we're like, why did we get such a long break? We didn't need this break. But I guess that's what this time is teaching all of us, that there are more important things in life, and being healthy is the most important. And I think I'm quite enjoying it, and being at home, spending time with my family. I got to spend my birthday with my family after a long time. So that's special, and just being at home, So
you spoke about keeping busy as well, and a lot of people, see your workouts and see the athleticism behind you, KL. But what about the mind? I mean, how do you keep the mind engaged at a time like this? Because, as you said, there's a part of you that's just waiting to go. You had an ODI 100 just coming into the break as well, so you're feeling on top of your game. What's the mindset like coming into a freeze phase like this?
Look, I mean, we all know that it's a very difficult phase, and there's not much we can do physically. Having said that, I think it's a good time for players, or for sportsmen, or for just people in general, to just sit back and reflect on on things. For me especially, I can talk about myself. I've just been sitting and doing some homework. I've been watching some videos from the past and seeing what are the things I was doing right, where I can improve, and yeah, just watching cricket and like I said, just trying to improve on things that I feel I need to improve. I mean, there's always scope for improvement. I know I scored 100 in the last innings, but when I get back, it's going to be different. I'm not going to be. I hope I'll be in the same form, but you never know with sports. So just trying to be as ready and as prepared as possible, and just giving myself, just trying to recreate the match situation, or in my head right now, I'm like, okay, what if the World Cup begins or the IPL begins? What do I need to do? And like you said, captaincy is something that I'm doing for the first time. So reading my own players, understanding what their strengths are. So I'm trying to do all that homework, and that kind of keeps me busy, and it's a good challenge in a player's career to progress. This is a good progress from being a player to getting the leadership role. It's exciting. So I'm trying to do whatever homework I can.
Yeah, we're going to get to that phase as well. And you spoke of it, the progress in your career has been phenomenal, KL. So let's just take you back a bit. I think there's a nice memory when we go back to your debut, just after your debut in Test cricket as well. That debut series, I mean, it was a tough start for you at the MCG in front of the bickering fans in Australia in some sense. But then you got a phenomenal 100 in Sydney. Just talk us through that moment, because it must have been special at an iconic venue in Australia, in the world really, to go score 100. Was that the moment you sort of sensed you belonged to Test cricket? Because you went on to then score hundreds in Sri Lanka, West Indies and so on.
Of course, yeah. I think that innings, that series just changed the way I looked at myself. The confidence that I got from bouncing back so quickly and at a stage, at an international level where it's obviously a dream for every player, but to go on, fail, and bounce back so early just gave me lots and lots of confidence as a player, and also as a person. I realized that if I put my mind to it, there are things that I can achieve that even I've never thought I can achieve. So that innings did give me a great deal of confidence, and it just changed who I was as a person, as a cricketer, and the way I looked at sport and everything. So it's very special, and it's funny. It's still very fresh, more than the Sydney 100, the MCG, the first test, the things that I went through emotionally, and what I was thinking while I was in the middle is something. It's still fresh. So every time before I go out onto the pitch, it's something that's in my head. So I never want to feel like that again. So I keep reminding myself about what were the reasons why I couldn't do well, and then try to do try to do things that I did well in the next inning. So I just try to remember these basic things, and it just really helps me get into that zone.
Yeah, we're talking about the mind behind here in this series. We spoke to Kahiso a couple of days ago, and we were telling him that we were going to chat with you, and he said he's going to challenge you at the PlayStation as well. But we're talking about the mind more than anything, and you spoke of it, right? A moment like that is so fresh in your memory. Can you sort of take us back to the night before your Test debut? What were the butterflies doing in your stomach at that point? Did you get a good night's sleep? Do you remember
Not
sort of the
preparation going into it? I remember that all five nights of the Test match, I didn't sleep. I don't think I slept for more than an hour or 2 hours, because you're so nervous, you're so eager to get onto the field. There's so many emotions going through you, and before
plus the Boxing Day Test match, right?
Yeah, plus the Boxing Day Test match, and I remember the crowd didn't make it easy, and that's the beauty of sport when you travel, and especially to Australia. It's a very competitive place. Even the people who are not in the ground are so competitive, and the crowd just keeps making it harder and harder for you. So just having played my first two international games in a place which is considered to be the toughest place to go and play cricket, and to have in a way achieved what I wanted to, getting 100, maybe on debut would have been even more memorable and sweeter, but still getting 100 in one of the test matches was very special. So having done that, I think the lessons that I learned from there, and how to handle the pressure, how to keep calm in such situations, and all those lessons were very special and very important at such an early stage in my career.
You mentioned missing out on a hundred, perhaps in the Test debut arena, but you didn't have to wait long to get a debut 100 KL, because a year and a half later, well, a little later really, but a year and a half later, ODI debut versus Zimbabwe, got 100 chasing 169. When did you think in that chase that the 100 was on the cards, and how special was that? Because you were the first Indian ever to score an ODI 100 on debut, and you didn't know it at the time, did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, look, I came into that series with a lot of confidence. I did well in the IPLs, and before the IPL and stuff, I had some injuries, and after my Sydney test, I think I still had to struggle to get into the team for a bit with injuries. I went in and out, and then I think we had a settled senior opening pair, so, and they were doing well. So even after getting that, I had to still wait for my chances. So just being away, being not getting those chances, just keeps you on your toes. And I had that fire in me to whenever I get the opportunity, to keep doing well. And yeah, with injuries as well, you're just away from the game for so long. You just want to go out to the ground and give it your best and keep performing as much as you can and be as consistent as you can. So I went into that series with confidence from the IPL, and I mean, I just I was hitting the ball well. I kept batting, and I think around when I was 75 or 78 is when I think I needed the same amount of runs as a team. If I needed 30 runs for my 100, even the team needed 30 runs. So I was like, this is not going to happen. And Raidu was batting with me, and he was also batting at 50. So me being the youngster, I didn't want to tell him to slow down, or it was a very it would have been a very weird conversation. So I didn't bring it up. But very nice of Raidu to he came up to me and he said, this is possible. Just go try to get 100. If you get out, it's fine. So I'll just look to rotate the strike and just keep you on strike as much as I can. So, and then I took my chances.
Does he remind you of that when you guys face each other at the IPL anytime?
No, not really.
So the favor of you at some point.
No, I am very thankful, and I remember that, and I'm sure I keep telling Raidu whenever I meet him as well. So he's a good partner to play with in that first innings of mine, because he was experienced and he's played cricket for a long time. So just to have a partner who's experienced, and it was a very young team. I don't think a lot of the senior players came on that tour. So yeah, nice to have a partner who just kept me calm and just let me play my shots.
I just want to understand, KL, just going into your mind a bit more, to understand how you channel that nervous energy, or the anxiety of coming into a series and wanting to do well. Obviously, a lot of players only get one shot at it at times, and you come in first match, want to impress, and you actually put the runs on the board and perform. How do you convert that nervousness or that energy that's sort of sitting within you into actually a performance?
I don't think that nervous energy ever leaves you, no matter how many games you play. I think it's always there when you go to represent your country, and I think the more you play, the more you realize that you need to give yourself that extra bit of time, and once you've spent that time in the middle, the nervous energy, the anxiousness of doing something for the team, that just leaves you, and then slowly you get in control of yourself and of the game. So it's important. What I keep telling myself, what I keep reminding myself each time I go out onto the field is to play the game at my pace, and not be rushed by the opposition, or not be rushed by what is happening around. So I always try to remember to just gather my thought, breathe, and just remain calm as much as I can, and try to spend like 5 or 10 minutes first, and then start thinking about what I need to do. Obviously, before you go onto the field, you have a rough idea of what you
Yeah.
want to achieve on that day, but that's in the back of the mind. But as soon as you go, I try to give myself a little time, just get used to it. And like you said, the nervous energy just, it kind of leaves you, so you have to be patient and wait for it to go away, and then you start to express yourself and just play according to what your team wants you to do.
It's funny, Kel, as you've seen sort of the game itself progress over the last few years. T20 cricket's become so much more professional. There's so much more attention on that format as well. But the preparation, is it the same going into a test, into an ODI, into a T20? Do you plan versus particular bowlers? What's your sort of your mindset going in? But also, how do you guys plan in, say, team meetings, or you personally with a batting coach going in?
Look, I think in terms of like skill preparation, there's not a lot we do differently.
Yeah,
Skill wise, we still try to keep it the same. But in terms of mental preparation, I think it changes from format to format, and also uh, like you said, where we're playing, who we're playing, and according to that is what the team meetings happen. And then you also, as players, you sit down and, I mean, more or less, you know who you're playing against and what their strengths are. So now, if I play South Africa, I know what KG's strengths are, or where he's going to try to get me out, and how I need to tackle his good balls. So that's what you think if it's a test match. But if it's a T20, you think, how do I put the bowler under pressure, or where can I score off him? So these are a little work, like homework, that you do before the game, and you put all these options in your mind before the game,
yeah,
and then when you go onto the middle, and then you just um, not hope, but I mean, yeah, in a way, hope that your preparations were right and your body will make the right call
yeah,
when the pressure's on you. So that's how we look to train. We also look to train the mind when we are practicing as well. We try to
yeah.
visualize. I mean, say for instance, if I'm in the nets and I'm playing one of the bowlers, I will try to picture him as the opposition bowler and try
Right.
to tackle him, and just so your body and your mind gets used to being in that position. So yeah, these are a few things I think we do. But again, I've also learned that keeping things simple, as simple as possible, is the best thing to do, and just remain in the present and just go to the ground, and then um, just react to what
Yeah.
has been thrown at you. That also has worked for me sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's still it'll always be a process of figuring out what works best for you, and I don't think any player will ever reach that place where he knows exactly what to do. I mean, I think that's the fun of life and fun of sport. that
Zen,
that
finding
yeah,
that Zen spot.
yeah,
It's funny because you said you want to be able to go out there in the middle and execute your plans, right? But we're a country of 1.2 billion Indians. There's a lot of pressure that is on you as well. And we're not the quietest bunch either when it comes to us as a country. So how do you put all of that aside, Kian? How do you put that noise away? How do you put that interference away and find your zone when you're out in the middle? Because that's something all sportsmen speak of, right? Being in the zone.
yeah. I think once you're in the ground, once, I mean, for me at least, when I'm doing my skill, especially like when I'm batting, I put on the helmet and I'm in the middle. After I played like 5 or 6 balls, I think the noise kind of just fades away, and then you look at the scoreboard, you talk to your partner, and your mind starts thinking about what we need to do to win this game for the team,
Yeah.
and that becomes the most important thing. And there's hardly, I mean, it's I don't know if this makes sense, or it explains anything, but there is silence even when there are 100,000 people screaming at you. There's still a quiet. You can still um,
Yeah, I
you
remember
know
talking to Justin Langer, and he was talking about white noise, and you sort
yeah,
of feel this white noise within
yeah,
you.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it is a, we are a huge country, and people do have opinions. I think off the field,
Yeah,
certain times it does get to you, because end of the
yeah,
day, we are still human beings, and it's not the nicest thing to hear somebody saying bad things about you,
yeah,
or criticizing you. It's never easy, but again, it's part of the job. You learn to I've learned to take it in a positive way. Every time somebody criticizes you, there's something to learn as a person. I mean, nobody has anything against me. So all they're trying to do is try to make sure that I'm more consistent for my team, and maybe that's why they criticize me. And that's how I've started to look at people commenting or criticizing, and
Yeah.
I'll look to learn from it, and try to use that energy into training harder, or batting extra and working hard. And when I'm in the middle and when I'm tired, and I try to use this energy to push myself and prove people wrong.
It's funny because everyone sees the final output when you're out in the field. They sort of judge you by your last innings in some sense. But as you said, social media can be a double-edged sword. You've got the media that can be on your side or be on your back when you have one bad run. I know it affects a player and a player's mindset at times, and it's hard to put away. But how much does it also affect the people in your support system, your family, your sister or your parents and stuff like that? How much does that affect them too?
I think that's they're the people who get affected the most. And as players, when you see that your family is getting hurt, is when you start to react or you start to feel bad, because we as players, or we as people, have learned, like you said, that it's white noise. It doesn't affect anything. I mean, the people talking are not, they're not the people working for us, or they're not the people uh, paying us. They're not the people who are doing the work for us. What what I do is what, at the end of the day, I will get what I deserve. So you kind of learn to shut that noise off. But sometimes it's hard on the family, and we expect them to understand, and to a large, they do understand too. But I guess, it affects them more than it affects us, and then in a way it just affects us after a while. So yeah, just, there's nothing, I don't think is going to change. But yeah, I'm hopeful that people will realize that end of the day, we are people as well. We're trying hard. We do the best we can. We are the people having sleepless nights, working ourselves for 8 hours, 10 hours a day, sometimes staying away from family, and going through all of that. And it gets lonely. It's none of these people
But
are
you're
there
also
for
the one
us.
that's making them smile at the end of the day. That's the funny part, right? Because you're the
Exactly.
one
Yeah.
giving them joy also.
Yeah. Also, anytime anybody asks me, that's all I can say, that before you comment about a player's performance or about him, just think about, put yourself in his shoes for a couple of seconds, and see what it's like to be that person. So yeah, but again, like I said, we draw energy from the negativity.
Yeah. I'm going to take a break away from digging into your mind, give your brain a bit of a breather, and take a few audience and fan questions as well. We had some
Awesome.
nice ones coming in earlier, and one that's pretty apt from Priya about the times today. What time are you waking up these days, KL? What time are you getting to bed? Because I think this is a big one that everyone's struggling with at the moment, routine.
Um, yeah, I mean, look, we don't have this luxury. Otherwise, sometimes we have to wake up early for training. So, yeah, right now I don't set an alarm. Honestly, when I wake up is when I
Yeah.
wake up,
When your
and
dog jumps on you, basically.
no, he doesn't. But even otherwise, I mean, whenever I wake up, I wake up. So, trying to get 10 or 11 hours of sleep. I try to, I don't try, honestly. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes you have to force yourself to sleep when you're playing, because you know that your body needs 8 or 9 hours of sleep to perform at its best. So, yeah, you force yourself to sleep. Now I'm not trying to do any of that. Sometimes I go to sleep at 12. Sometimes I go to sleep at 1. So there's no routine, honestly. And yeah, I mean, for a while, um I did feel like, oh damn, I'm a sportsman, I need to have a routine,
Yeah.
what is happening? And then I realized that, it's time to just switch off for a bit, and it's
Yeah.
okay to just not have a routine. It's okay. And I think we need to stop being so controlling of ourselves, and just
Yeah.
let go and just be.
Yeah, I noticed you've been playing a little bit of basketball as well. Have you watched The Last Dance yet?
No, I was going to start it this evening, but then I'll start it now after
Yeah,
your
I actually
after
watched an
this
episode just
chat.
before we got on. It's well worth a watch. I mean, if you're an
Yeah,
MJ fan,
yeah.
which I'm sure anyone who watches basketball has been at
I
some
think
point.
any for any sports lover, I think it will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
great show to watch.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Swati, and this is a fun one because I guess there was so much talk about this for like a year and a half. I remember everywhere the talk of where is KL Rahul going to bat is always a topic. What's your favorite batting position, KL? Come on.
Uh, I mean, I grew up being an opening batsman. I'm not trying to be diplomatic. It's where
Yeah.
I'm most comfortable, and or it's a place where I feel like I know what to do exactly. But I'm also a person that needs a challenge, and
Yeah.
having to bat at different positions is challenging for me, and I'm quite enjoying it, and I'm in a place where I want to win games for my team, for my country. It doesn't matter where I bat. So
Yeah.
that is
That's
the
fine.
honest truth.
Moving to Darshini, and she wants to know if you could change the result of any match in the past, which game would you choose? That's a nice question, actually.
Yeah, World Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
How
if you ask,
how gut wrenching was that one?
sorry, how?
How gut wrenching was that? How tough was that one to swallow?
Um,
Especially
very,
given that it went on for 2 days, right?
very. I mean, I think most of us is still, you know, um, still not over that loss. It just still haunts us sometimes, and I mean, for some of us youngsters, it was a first World Cup. For me, it was my first World Cup, but I can imagine the other senior players who've been in different World Cup, played a lot of World Cups. So I can't imagine what they go through. Having loss
Yeah.
is never easy to swallow, but in a World Cup, it just becomes even more harder. And knowing that we played so well in that tournament,
Yeah.
I mean, um, yeah. So you still wake up sometimes with. I wake up with that nightmare
If,
of
if
getting
it's
caught.
of any consolation to you, KL, I'm pretty sure the New Zealand side are feeling it a lot more than
Yeah,
you are,
yeah.
given the way they lost the final. That's
I
that's
know.
of some solace maybe. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it was a tough one for all of us, I think, even to
yeah,
watch because I mean, you guys were such a good side going into the tournament and
yeah.
through the entire tournament as well.
Yeah, and we were very confident that we would go on to win that one. So the mood in the team was always that this is what we're going to do when we win the World Cup. We'll do this and
Yeah.
we'll do that. So we were also confident, and just to have lost and shattered dreams for a lot of us. So yeah,
Yeah. You know, I'm just
it's
going to take
sport.
you
I mean,
into
we're gonna have more World Cups in the coming years. So
yeah,
it'll just
yeah.
keep us more motivated, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you've got the age factor on your side, and you've got the game going really
just
nicely at the
turned a
moment.
year
Getting
older, man.
up. Wait till you get to 30, KL, don't worry. The body slows down also. Just gonna take you into sort of IPL mode a little bit as well, and sort of understand your mindset there because you're now leading the side at Kings 11. You've got someone like Anil Kumble there, a
Yeah,
real sort of father figure of Karnataka cricket in many ways, someone you must have looked up to at
of
different
course.
points in your career, someone you share a good relationship with. What's the feeling like going into it? How much are you looking forward to that challenge, also from a leadership perspective?
Yeah, like I said, it's a progression that every sportsman, every cricketer wants to, go from being, number three, number four to the number one player, to be a leader, and to make have that to take up that responsibility to take 15 guys with you and do wonderful things together. So yeah, it's mm, was something that I was really looking forward to. And like I said, I still, in a way, it's given me that extra time to sit
Yeah,
at home and do some more homework. And yeah, and like you mentioned, Anil Kumble has been somebody who's been there for a lot of us Karnataka boys from a very
yeah,
young age, and we have looked up to him and Rahul Dravid. And they've been they used to come to our net sessions and push us, honestly. And one thing with Anil Kumble is, I've always had a very real, very straight, very honest relationship with him, and I've
yeah,
always enjoyed that. And if he felt something was wrong, he'd come up to me and tell me straight, and that always helped me. Even when he was coach, there were times he had very real conversations with me, and told me there are things that that I really need to work on. And yeah, so having somebody like him with so much experience, having done
yeah,
it for so many years for the country, and just to maybe feed off him, understand how to somebody like that will really make it easier for me and help me when I find myself having no answers. And I'm sure that as captain I will be in that position where at times I may not have an answer, and it's a good thing to have somebody like that to look up to. And and our team has some really experienced players. Chris has played the most amount of T20 cricket, I think. So to have him in the team, to have Maxi in the team, he's led his Big Bash team, so he comes in with that experience. And
he's got Lady Luck on his side now that he's married also, so or engaged rather, so he's carrying that in.
So it's exciting.
Sorry, continue.
No, I was just going to say that it's an exciting group of players, and I'm really looking forward to spending time with all of them together, and try to bring the best out of all of them, and do good things for Kings 11.
There's a lot of RCB fans on our chat saying, come back to RCB, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, guys. He's the captain of Kings 11 now, so no chance of that happening. But look, when you were there, obviously you're playing...
We're still red. I mean, RCB is red.
Exactly. There we go. The diplomat in you has put the perfect answer across. But you spent a lot of time there, KL, with Virat, with AB, with Chris as well. What was that phase like? Because obviously you were growing a lot, and you're still growing, obviously, but you were sort of coming into your own at that point. How much did that phase shape you? How much did you just enjoy being in that dressing room?
I think it was the biggest gift that I got, or that a youngster could have asked for. I think I played when I was 21. The first time I walked into the RCB change room, I was 21. I hadn't played for the country, but I was doing well in first class cricket, and I obviously dreamt of playing for the country and playing for IPL, and just to walk into that dressing room with Virat, AB, Chris, Zahir Khan was there, and so many great players in that change room, and so many players who were legends of the game. Just to be around them and see how they prepare and get an opportunity to I think the first year I was very shy to just go up to them and talk to them, and I think that's normal for any youngster. You're so you're in awe of these players. You've grown up watching them, and you see them sitting next to you. Sometimes the words don't come out of your mouth. So the first year was just sitting there and seeing what they do, and I did have the opportunity to chat with Virat and AB a couple of times. I got to open with Chris, so spoke to him in the middle more than off the field. So just having chatted with them, and I think the biggest lesson was for me as a youngster to see that these great players also do the things that we are doing at first class cricket. They keep it simple. There's not much they do differently. They just their belief is so strong, and they've they keep things simple and not complicated. And this is something that AB told me in the first year or the second year, I don't remember, but something that he said, and it stuck with me since then. He said that cricket's a very simple game, and the more simple you keep it, the more the game will give you back. And those such simple words, but it just stuck with me, and it made so much sense. And I think at times we try to complicate the sport for ourselves, and then you end up in miserable places. So these things for a youngster at that age, to just be there and learn from them, was absolute gold. And the things that I learned still are things that I treasure, and I still go back to these guys and talk to them about sport. Now obviously I can talk to them a little bit more freely than 7-8 years ago. So they're great ambassadors of the game, and they're great human beings, and just such easygoing people to just be with, interact with. So
okay, we're just running out of time here, so I'm going to wrap up with a couple of quick questions. One, a fun one that I'd love to pick your brain with. Give me 3 reasons why being an opening batsman is the coolest thing in the world, and 3 reasons why it is honestly the worst job on the planet.
Okay. I think number 1 is, you as an opener, you set the game. You set the pace of the game, and that is is so thrilling and so exciting for us youngsters. You know, you go to the middle, you don't know what the pitch is going to be like. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't know anything, and just to go there and you know, if you get off to a start, you just get your team off. That's thrilling. What else? And obviously, if it's a one day or a T20, you get to bat the whole 50 overs or the 20 overs. And one more cool thing is,
You get to bat with
yeah,
Chris Gayle?
yeah. I mean, yeah, that too. And you get to play. It's a good and a bad thing. You get to
Yeah.
face a hard new ball, and the bowlers are fresh. So you
Yeah.
if you get off to a start, you know you can mentally really dent them, and that kind of gives you so much, um,
Yeah.
such a good feeling when you can dominate and put a team or the bowlers down. So these are things that very exciting for an opener, uh, and and I think the like I said already said, the good and the bad thing is the new
Yeah.
ball. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes you don't know what to expect, and you might get an unplayable ball, and it might just,
Yeah.
you know, at time a lot of times you as an opener you go out there and the first 10 overs is swinging and seaming so much, and then you get out ninth over, and then for the rest of the 80 90 overs not one ball would have
Just
swung
not
or seamed, and rest of the guys just, you know, take advantage of that, and everybody on the scoreboard will be 100 and
Yeah.
you as an opener will be, you know, would have gotten out early. So that is really frustrating. And then
Yeah.
and also, you know, as openers you don't get a big break when you bat second.
Yeah.
You finish fielding and then you have to run back and change and get ready quickly. You know, you don't get a breather at all. So a lot of times when you walk in batting second, your legs are tired, your mind is tired. So
Yeah.
just to pick yourself up sometimes is really really hard. And that I dread. And in test matches, I really don't enjoy when you have to bat out the day.
Yeah.
You have to pad up and
Seven
go
overs at
back
the end
out
of the day.
2 overs for 3 overs just to
Yeah.
see the day off.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing as an opening batsman. I don't think any opening batsman likes that.
Okay, KL, thanks so much for chatting with us. Just one final question. If there was one man you could pick to bat for your life, past or present, who would that be?
Mm, I'd bat myself honestly because I
Good man.
I value my life the most. Um, but I think um, I'd I'd say I'll go with Virat because I know you know he's having everybody knows he's a great player.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. We also have we share great friendship, so I know if you know I have to live,
He's got your back.
yeah, he'll give it all and you know, try to save me. So yeah,
KL, thanks so much. You've given us
thank you.
a serious insight into your mind. You've given us access into your mind as well. And it's been a fun chat. It's really been cool to chat with you
Likewise.
in this space as well. Hope you stay safe, stay cool with your family as well, and enjoy the time, man. I know it's not going to come back anytime soon for you at home.
Yeah, I will. I will. That's all that is on my mind. Like I said, just break all the routines, break everything that I used to, um, you know, I used to do, and just enjoy this time and just, you know, feel normal for the next month or two, and yeah, just enjoy yourselves. And yeah, I hope everybody else stays safe and looking forward to, you know, getting back onto the field. And I think this time all of us will will value it and treasure it so much more.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to having you back as well and having you back as captain with Kings 11. So, KL, thanks so much again for joining us here.
Thank you so much. Cheers, man. Bye.
Cheers.